So I heard you want to ride a motorcycle.
Because these horsemen ride with the pistol outside, with heads like thunder, the rock will go pride, will have no mercy for big, far and wide.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back to the world famous Whiskey Chaser channel. Shoutout! Didn't see that one coming, did you? Just watched the third season of Cobra Kai, and I can tell you that I am karate kicked up. Cruising over here on the west side today, just because it's a nice day for a cruise. Who needs an excuse, right? Before we really get into this video, I just got a couple things to say. First off, we hit 100 subscribers! Oh yeah, boys! I think I talked about that in the last one too, but damn, dude, that's so cool. We're over 100. Next goal, 1,000,000. I highly doubt that's gonna happen, but still, it's awesome. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that little red button. Leave a like, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Also, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Melissa V. Her YouTube name is Melissa V. Her Instagram name, I think, is Loca Melissa V. So you better watch out. She rides a street bob, and she also has this helmet. She left a comment talking about the different size cheek pads that you can get from Biltwell, and I'll tell you what, man, I got the 19mm cheek pads in today. They make a world of difference. I had the 29 that came with the medium helmet that I had, just making my cheeks all poopy. I already have big cheeks, big old cheeks in the front and in the back. Whoa! So they were squishing my face, and now it is so much better. So the main topic of today's video, you want to ride a motorcycle. Well, not you. You want to ride a motorcycle. I'm guessing that most of the people who are watching this video already ride, since almost all of my subscribers are from other moto channels. But you know, I thought that I would give my thoughts and opinions on what I think is best for new riders. Not necessarily that I know what's best, because I don't know what's best, but I have been riding for a very long time, and I have a couple of thoughts and opinions. I have a couple of ideas about what's good, what's bad, what you should not do, anything like that. So take them as you want. You can tell me I'm wrong if you want. You can agree with me, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me, as long as you're watching the video. First and foremost, I think that every single person should ride a motorcycle. I also think that every single person should work in the restaurant industry, because you are able to get a flip side of the coin on what it's like to be in this seat if you learn how to ride. You learn a level of respect for motorcycle, bicyclists, everything like that you never had before, and you learn how to ride it on the street with people around you who acted like jerks every single day. I think it's an important life skill. I think that it's a great idea. It's a great sport to get into. And on the flip side of that, for many people, for 99% of people, is a sport. This is a hobby. It's not a necessity. It's not something that you're required to do. I mean, getting a driver's license is not a necessity, you know? Like, you don't have to get a driver's license. It fucking helps, but you don't have to. Alright, so you're going out, you're looking, you decided you want to get a motorcycle. It's not just as easy as going down to the dealership and picking one up, though it may seem that way. You can, and in fact, that's what I did. When I was about 19 years old, I walked into a dealership, a Suzuki dealership, and I said, I want this motorcycle. I had no idea what it was. I just liked the way it looked. I had never ridden one on the road really before. I mean, I had, but it was like, they were like dirt bikes. They weren't, you know, regular sized motorcycles. So I said, I want that bike. And they said, okay. And they ran me a credit, and I walked out of there with that bike. And then I drove it to the corner outside the dealership off the parking lot, and I stopped at a stoplight, and I immediately put it down. Because I had no idea what I was doing. That bike was way too tall for me. I wasn't familiar with it. It was just all over the place. So the first thing that I suggest is look at a whole bunch of different bikes. And I'm not saying go waste anybody's time, because that sucks. Don't, you know, go on Craigslist and respond to 50 people and then go just to sit on their bike and be like, oh yeah, no thanks, I'm not interested. Because that's terrible. They go to a couple dealerships. Go to a Harley dealership. Go to a Kawasaki dealership. Go to a Honda dealership. I mean, even just a regular used bike dealership will have plenty of bikes that you can sit on and you can feel out. They have no problem if you get on those things. You know, get down there, throw a leg over, see how it feels. If it's too tall, if it's too short, if it's too heavy. I probably sat on maybe 9 or 10 different motorcycles before I decided to get this. One guy had one, it was a screaming deal. It was like $3,200. It was a 1200 Vulcan maybe, I'm not sure. But it was a great deal. Had low miles. I sat on that thing and I was like, there is no way that I'm riding this. There's no way. It was huge. So you got to find the right kind of bike for you. Second thing is be prepared to spend some money. You might see a great deal like a $3,200, 7,000 mile Vulcan or whatever, or Harley Sportster or whatever, and you might think, man, that's great, I'm gonna go pick that up. And you go get that. And then you gotta pay for insurance. And then you gotta pay for registration. And then you gotta pay for gear. You gotta get a helmet, right? Good helmet will run you $100 to $400. This one I just got regularly retails for $275, I think. I was lucky, I got it for a good deal. You want a jacket? If it's cold, you're gonna need a jacket. General Grant National Memorial. Well, you can wear a regular jacket, sure, but a good riding jacket will probably cost you maybe $200, $300. One with padding, armor, good protection, all the right stuff. Stuff you gotta think about. You know, all of a sudden that $3,200 bike is costing you $4 grand. Where am I going? I don't even know. Enjoying my life. Where am I going? I don't even know. Alright, so you priced it all out, you saved some money, you found the bike that you want. Good looking bike, it fits you, know you can ride it, you got your gear, you got your helmet, you got your cash in hand, you're ready to go buy this thing, right? Then what? Well, you gotta learn how to ride the damn thing, right? When you take the motorcycle class, at least when I took my motorcycle class, they asked you if you knew how to ride a motorcycle, if you knew how to shift a manual transmission, because you got to learn how to do that. Most bikes, except for a couple of them, including the new Rebel that's coming out this year, are going to be manual transmissions. 4, 5, 6 speed, usually 5, 1 down, 4 up. You got to shift it with your foot. Just like that. So you gotta learn, you gotta practice. Get to a parking lot, practice, practice, practice. One of the best pieces of advice I ever heard was practice makes permanent. Not perfect, permanent. If you practice something one way, you're gonna continue to do that. It doesn't matter if it's the right way or the wrong way. If you continue to practice it that way, you're going to continue practicing it. So you gotta practice and you gotta do it right. If you don't know how to drive a manual transmission, my suggestion, find somebody with a car. Find somebody with a car who has a manual, practice in that, because you're gonna need to know how to shift gears. If you don't know how to do it, there's plenty of videos out there. Blockhead makes a great tutorial on how to ride a motorcycle. Practice your low speeds. Low speeds are where people get in accidents. People get in accidents at fast, high speeds too, but low speeds are where people fall over, where they tip over, where they can't handle the weight of the bike. Because once this thing is going, this thing is nimble, this thing is light, it's easy. Your center of gravity is right on your torso. You can move around, you can use either your butt, your hips, your legs, your arms, but when you're stopped, it's a lot more difficult. I'll show you right up here. And once this thing is stopped, if it goes over, my whole leg right here is holding up this bike. It's a lot more difficult to hold these things up when they're going slow. And so that's why you need to practice. You need to practice those low speeds, those turns, practice getting in and out of first gear. First gear is where you're going to have the problem, because once you start to go, you don't have to worry about it. Find that clutch zone, that neutral zone, sit there, try not to kill the bike. Look, once you start going, I can let go of the throttle, shift, drop it, and the bike still goes. It doesn't go very fast because I don't have any throttle going, but it's still going. So once you get up into those gears, you don't have to worry about it as much. It's just that first gear that's the problem. So what it really sounds like to me is I'm rambling on about a lot of crap that, in my opinion, really doesn't matter. So yeah, you know, like there are a lot of things that you have to do in order to get a motorcycle. But should you get a motorcycle? Absolutely. Absolutely you should get a motorcycle. Every single person should get a motorcycle. And it's not difficult. It's not hard. There's a lot of little things that you have to do. You have to go out, you have to take tests, you have to get licensed, you have to get insurance, you have to find a bike, you have to buy accessories for your bike, you have to get a helmet, stuff like that. But it's not like it's crazy hard to get into this. If you go out and you buy a car will cost you, if you spend $3,000 on a car, that car is going to be a piece of shit. It'll get you from point A to point B, but it probably won't have a stereo, or maybe it'll have like an AM, FM radio or some crap like that. You're probably going to have bald tires, the brakes are going to be shot. There's a lot of crap that you're going to have to deal with. If you go out and you buy a $3,000 motorcycle, that's a good motorcycle. You could have a good motorcycle for $3,000. Shade Tree Surgeon has a bunch of videos where he goes to dealership and he rides used old bikes that are less than $5,000. He bought a Goldwing for $2,000, I think, and he rode it across the country. He rode it from Florida all the way up to Niagara Falls and back again. That is crazy. You can get into this hobby for nothing. These right here, these Sportsters, they're a dime a dozen, man. You can get them all over the place. I see them for sale everywhere, and they're great bikes. You just have to learn how to do a couple things. Now, granted, if you don't know how to work on engines, on mechanical stuff, anything like that, it might get a little expensive for you. Oil changes at the dealership, they're expensive. Brake jobs, they're expensive. Stuff like that is really, really expensive. That fork seal tube replacement that I have a video on, that was gonna cost $475. But instead, I learned how to do it. I got on YouTube, I did the research, and I did it myself. And it cost me the price of the oil and the rebuild kit, which was $27 for the rebuild kit, and I think $10 for the $12 for the oil. It's cheap and easy to change spark plugs. They're sitting right here. You just pop the tube off, unscrew the old ones, put the new ones in, put the tube back on. It's not difficult to do, but if you don't know how to do it, it might cost you a little bit. But I believe in you. I believe you can do it. Like I said earlier, every person on one of these is one less of these. It's one less ignorant person talking on their cell phone, texting, looking at crap, getting distracted in a 2,000-pound metal cage of death. That thing's designed right there to protect you if you crash. But if that hits you, guess who's winning and guess who's losing? So it helps. It helps to get into this sport. It helps to get into this hobby just because of things like that. So go out. After you watch this video, go watch another video first, but then go to Craigslist and look at some bikes. Look at some motorcycles in your area. I guarantee you there's some for sale, and they're not going to be expensive. They're cheap. See if you can scrape a couple bones together. See if you can save up some money. Find out what you can afford. Go take the class. Buy a bike. Buy a motorcycle. I feel like I'm bullying people into buying motorcycles now. I told you, I've been looking at bikes. We had a whole video. I don't know if anybody watched it. It's only got about 2,000 views or something like that. But I talked about what motorcycles we should get, what motorcycle I should get, because I love this bike, but I want to turn this into some sort of Sportster project deal. I need something a little bit more reliable, a little bit more everyday, something I can ride while I'm working on this thing right here. And I've been looking at all kinds of stuff. I found a Yamaha Bolt for $5,000 with 6 miles. 6 miles. That is crazy. And I've been finding deals like that all over the place. There's a guy who bought a brand new 2020 Street Bob, brought it home, and his wife said he couldn't have it. So he couldn't return it. He's trying to sell it on Craigslist. It's like $3,000 below market value. That's wild. The thing has 17 miles on it. Not to say I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy a $12,000 motorcycle from a dude off Craigslist. But you know, it's just, there are deals. Alright everybody, well I think I've successfully rambled enough for 1 week. Once again, thank you so much to everybody who has been there, liked, commented, everybody who subscribed. You guys are all amazing. What do you think about people getting into this sport? What do you think about new people riding? Let me know down in the comments. Do you have any advice? Do you have any suggestions? I'm hoping that this video doesn't just fall on deaf ears and everybody who watches it isn't just already a motorcycle rider. I hope that some new people watch it. I hope some people look at it who are curious about getting into the hobby, and it helps to sway a decision. I know I didn't really say a whole lot because I'm me and I just sit there and talk about whatever the hell I want to, but if it changes one person's opinion, then I've done my due diligence. Well, once again, I'd like to tell you that you all rule. You are so cool. We'll see you back here next Friday with another fun topic that I get to talk about and you get to listen to. And that's that, because it's the Whiskey Chase channel and that's how we do it. And as we bask in the shadows that is One World Trade, we're actually not basking in the shadow because the sun's over there, but whatever, we're still next to it. As we roll past the tallest building in the city, I bid thee goodbye. Thanks everybody for watching. Take it easy out there. Stay safe. Love you. Miss you. Want to hug you, but I can't because of COVID. All right, bye.